Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. Hey, man, we got a Chillin' Scares video. Yes, we do. Today's video, we got 4 most disturbing 911 confessions. Ooh.
Okay, bye.
What?
Why are you staring at me?
I ain't staring at you. Hey, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want to first support, you got to do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
Lock it in with a thumbs up.
if you're new around here and haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, man. Join the family, join the fun. We have a goal we're trying to reach. That is 300K. We're trying to hit that by summertime.
Sometime in the summer.
Summertime.
Summertime.
Feel like summer.
Yeah.
Just anytime it feel like summer. Want to be able to hit that goal, man. Also, we're bringing some back that we used to do, man. We are shouting out the comment of the day somewhere right here. So y'all check out the comment of the day, man. We highly appreciate those who really truly support us, man. That comes over here, watch the videos every single time, have their post notifications turned on, and just engage, man. We highly appreciate y'all. So we got to start back showing y'all our appreciation, man. So with that being said, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get it.
On November 7, 2014, a 911 dispatcher in Springfield, Tennessee picked up a call at 2:45 in the morning. The man on
What time? When?
On November 7, 2014, a 911 dispatcher in Springfield, Tennessee picked up a call at 2:45 in the morning. The man on the other end sounded eerily calm and polite, which only made the horrifying confession he was about to make all the more unsettling.
Okay, what's going on?
Alright, this is what's happened. I've been married 12 years. On the 4th, which would have been 2 nights ago at 4 a.m., I shot my wife in the temple of her head. I thought I killed her. And I put her in the freezer out in the garage.
This was the voice of 45-year-old Joseph Parker, who had just confessed to taking the life of his 44-year-old wife named Samantha. If Joseph hadn't made this call himself, it could have been weeks, even months before the crime was discovered. You see, most of their neighbors described the couple as elusive. Joseph rarely spoke to anyone, and Samantha almost never left the house. They also spent no time in the yard, and their windows remained permanently covered at all times. So, without Joseph's confession, no one would have suspected that Samantha was missing. What puzzled the neighbors most was how completely out of the blue it felt. No one ever heard any arguments or fights between the couple, as they seemed to be living an ordinary, rather uneventful life. However, beneath the calm exterior, their marriage was starting to fall apart. It started when Joseph lost his long-standing job at the nearby Toyota dealership, and without a source of income, the bills started piling up. Missing mortgage payments also resulted in their house being marked for foreclosure. It's unclear if this financial stress was the only reason Joseph snapped on the day of their 12th anniversary, but it certainly was a major factor. He ended her life just as he described on November 4th and kept her in the garage freezer for 3 more days before dialing 911 and admitting to his crime. That said, while increasing guilt could have played a part, the actual reason Joseph called was much more bizarre. According to him, Samantha was still somehow alive and conscious despite being shot in the head and spending 3 days in a freezer. He even described communicating with her through her blinking. The reason he called wasn't to turn himself in. Instead, he just wanted to ensure that she's taken to a hospital and saved before she passes away.
I thought I killed her. And I put her in the freezer out in the garage. Well, I checked on her tonight, and she's not dead. She's got a big hole in the temple of her head. And to get her body moved around in there, I think I broke her wrist. You know, she was frozen from being in the thing. She's been in this thing 48 hours now. And there's no prank call. I need somebody to get out there and help her out. And you'll see her once you get in the garage. And she's a mess. She can't talk. I could get her to blink. Blink once means yes. Blink twice means no. And, so I told her I'm going to go around the road 10, 15 miles. I'm going to call 911 and get you some help out here. I thought she'd been dead 2 days, and when I checked on her, she was still alive. She's been frozen for 2 days. She's frozen solid. It's amazing she's still alive.
He refused to give any information about what caused him to do this, and also made it clear that he had no intentions of getting arrested. He was apparently driving away from the home when he dialed 911. He also claimed to have left the home unlocked so officers would have an easy time getting in, before ending the call with a declaration of his love for his presumably still alive wife, stating, "I love her. I still love her. I've loved her every day I've been married to her. We just had a rough stretch here." By the time officers arrived at his address, Joseph himself was nowhere to be found. They cautiously entered the garage and found the freezer he had described. However, its contents were far more gruesome than he had revealed. Joseph had partially dismembered Samantha's remains so they could fit in the small freezer. Analyzing them also made it clear that she was indeed dead and had been for multiple days. Put simply, Joseph seeing her blink was nothing more than a delusion, one he possibly developed as a coping mechanism for what he had done. This also meant that he was mentally unstable and likely had a firearm on him, making him a danger to anyone who crossed his path. This resulted in him becoming a part of Tennessee's top 10 most wanted list, with a team of investigators working every second to find his location. After successfully pinging his cell phone and searching for many more hours, Joseph was spotted driving south on the I-24 highway at around 3:24 p.m. Officers rushed to his location and after a short pursuit managed to pull him over. But before they could apprehend Joseph, he decided to turn his firearm off, ending everything and escaping the consequences of his heinous actions against Samantha. On the morning of January 7, 2007, the Vancouver, Washington Police Department received one of the most bizarre 911 calls in the state.
Oh, my bad. I know we normally speak on these afterwards, but we already know about that case. We also have done a body cam. Also, I know a lot of people, when I say we've done a body cam, they end up asking us in the comments, where's the body cam? I can't remember the title, but we have a lot of body cams. We also have a body cam playlist on our Extra Dose channel.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in true crime and stuff like that, we do those on a regular basis over there, and I'll go check it out. Even though we still do true crime over here as well. Yeah. But like daily, like body cam and stuff like that, we do over there on the Extra Dose channel.
The Vancouver, Washington Police Department received one of the most bizarre 911 calls in the state's history.
911, how may I help you?
I'm Dylan Pearson, and I just killed 2 people.
Who did you kill?
Matthew Nagel and Mrs. Nagel, I guess.
At around 7 a.m., 25-year-old Dylan Peterson dialed 911 and casually admitted to committing a double homicide. He sounded disinterested, almost bored while describing the details of what he did.
And how did you kill them?
With a knife.
Are they there too?
Not anymore.
Where are they at?
Well, they're here physically, but they're not here, spiritually.
Their bodies are there?
Yeah.
Who are they to you?
Who are they to me?
Uh-huh.
No one.
At the same time, he also had the tone of someone seeking attention and validation for their actions. Like when the dispatcher stayed calm and continued typical protocol through the process of gathering as much information as she could, Dylan started becoming audibly annoyed. He clearly wanted to talk more about what he did.
What?
How do you spell your first name?
How do I spell my first? Dylan.
Dylan. And what's your middle initial, Dylan?
R.
And your date of birth?
Your date of birth.
Come on, I just killed 2 people.
As police would later find out, Dylan wasn't lying about the murders. The two people he killed were his friend Nick Nagel's 45-year-old mother Sandra and 15-year-old younger brother Matthew. Dylan was enrolled at the Western Culinary Institute in Portland and was renting a room with the Nagel family while he attended college. As he described the situation on his confession call, one thing became clear. Dylan had no intention of running away. However, one thing that remained vague till the very end was his motivation for committing this violent crime.
I
Okay,
killed
well-
2 people. It's awful.
Why did you kill them?
Why?
Uh-huh.
Why? Oh, come on. I killed 2 people.
I
Okay.
understand that,
You
Dylan.
got that?
Yes.
I killed 2 people. I
Okay.
killed them.
Why did you kill them?
Why?
Yes.
Because.
Because why?
Because I was born to.
When officers arrived at the scene, they found Dylan near the front door, just as he'd mentioned on the call. They instructed him to come out of the house with his hands above his head, and he complied without saying a single word. He didn't resist arrest or say anything in defense. Inside, officers found the bloody remains of his 2 victims with signs of a struggle from both. Unfortunately, we'll likely never know what happened that day. Dylan later accepted a plea deal to avoid the death penalty in exchange for over 57 years in prison, all without ever talking about his motive or presenting any argument to justify his actions. From what we know, this was a random, tragic act of violence from a deeply mentally unwell man. The way he calmly confessed to everything without a shred of remorse bordered on psychopathy.
There are 2 people dead, and it's bloody, and it's gross.
Okay, how long ago did you do this?
After I knew both of them were dead? No.
How long ago did that happen? Are you sure that they're
How
dead?
long ago?
Yes.
Oh, poor Sandy just stopped breathing. Poor Sandy just stopped breathing. Poor
Okay.
Sandy.
That said, Dylan was never formally diagnosed.
What the fuck, bro?
So this was his friend,
Friend's mother.
mother, and brother. They allowed you into their home to stay.
So where's the friend? Because obviously, if you're staying there
Was he like at work or school or?
and you haven't told the reason why at all you committed the crime,
Just, man, that's wow.
On December 31st, 1980, the 911 dispatch center in St. Paul, Minnesota received an anonymous call about a potential murder at around 3 a.m. The person on the other end sounded hysterical as they described the situation.
Yes, please, this is an emergency. Please send a squad to Pierce Butler Road, Molenberg Manufacturing Company, machine shop. Please, there's an ambulance too. There's a girl hurt there.
Can you tell me what happened to her?
Just hurry, she's laying on the ground in the back by the railroad tracks, by the edge here. Hurry.
What's the address?
I don't know.
Who are you?
This almost sounded like a prank call, but when officers arrived at the provided location, they discovered 20-year-old Karen Poddock lying in the snow. She had extreme, repeated blunt force trauma to the head and was fully unconscious. The chances of her surviving were slim to none. But she was rushed to the hospital, and in what can only be described as a miracle, Karen actually managed to recover and resume normal life, though at the cost of some permanent brain damage and loss of her memories surrounding what happened. If that anonymous caller hadn't reached out for help, she likely would have passed away before anyone else found her. However, what seemed like an act of kindness by a good Samaritan concealed a far darker truth below the surface. It wasn't until June 1981 that this truth began to emerge, when the same person with the hysterical voice called again with a very straightforward confession.
Oh, yeah. Finally, I just stabbed somebody with an ice pick. I can't stop myself. I keep killing somebody.
30 minutes later, a group of kids discovered human remains hidden in a bush while playing in Minneapolis, the neighboring city to St. Paul. This turned out to be an 18-year-old student named Kimberly Compton, who just moved to Minneapolis that same day to start a new life. Sadly, by the time officers arrived at the scene, it was already too late. A later autopsy report revealed that she had 61 stab wounds across her body, highlighting the sheer cruelty of the act. All of these wounds were also inflicted with an ice pick, pretty much confirming that the person who called half an hour earlier was the one who did this to Kimberly. The top priority right now was to figure out who this person was. This revelation also made investigators rethink the Karen incident. Could it be that this killer was the one who attacked her as well, and only called because he thought Karen was for sure dead? Fortunately, they didn't have to wonder for long, because just a few days later, the potential killer called again.
Don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry what I did to Compton. I couldn't help it. Don't know why I had to stab her. I am so upset about it. I keep getting drunk every night. I can't believe it's just like a big dream. I can't think of being locked up. If I get locked up, I'd rather kill myself to get locked up. I'll try not to kill anybody else.
This call almost made him sound remorseful of his actions. However, as investigators would later find out, this was nothing more than an act to seem more innocent than he actually was. Things stayed calm for over a year, until another woman's remains were discovered along the banks of the Mississippi River on the 6th of August, 1982. She had similar ice pick stab wounds to Kimberly and had likely been floating in the river for at least a day. This turned out to be 40-year-old Barbara Simmons. A postal worker found her purse in a post box near the river, allowing investigators to identify her remains. That lead then took them to a bar where Barbara was seen talking to a man before leaving with him on her last day. After talking to eyewitnesses, this man was identified as 38-year-old Paul Michael Stefani, a St. Paul resident. Investigators began monitoring Paul for evidence while also releasing recordings of his calls to news networks, hoping someone who knew him would come forward with a tip. The media dubbed him the weepy-voiced killer due to his distinct tone on calls, though apprehending him continued to prove difficult. Investigators needed some solid evidence, or at least probable cause, to make their first move. Luckily, Paul provided that opportunity himself on August 21 when he tried to lure in and attack 21-year-old Denise Williams. But Denise managed to successfully fight back. She ended up injuring Paul and escaped with the help of a passing stranger. Paul, on the other hand, returned home and tried to call an ambulance for himself. And that's when his luck ran out. The emergency dispatcher recognized his voice from the news segments, resulting in a police car showing up right beside the ambulance and arresting Paul on the spot. He stood trial in 1983, and while he managed to evade any charges for Karen and Kimberly due to insufficient evidence, he was charged with the murder of Barbara and the attempted murder of Denise. Paul was eventually convicted on both counts and sentenced to 58 years in prison, but that's not where his story ended. You see, Paul found out that he was dying of cancer in 1997 and had only a few more months to live at best. So, in a move no one saw coming, he not only confessed to the Karen and Kimberly cases, but also named a fifth victim that the police didn't even know about, 33-year-old Kathleen Greening. He eventually died in June 1998, marking the end of the weepy-voiced killer.
Wow.
I knew 100% there was another victim. So basically, he's a serial killer.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I'm saying basically he's a serial. I knew there was another victim. Reason why? What was the first victim?
Karen.
She got away. She didn't die. And honestly, we don't even know if he 100% intended for her to die. Maybe he did. Maybe he thought whatever, and he just like, okay, here on out, dead. They can't survive.
Or he probably thought she was.
But true, because you're right. Because in that situation, he just beat her to death. He was trying to beat her to death, right? Just beat her.
Yeah, she had
bruising.
Blunt force to the head.
But
she had brain damage.
But the other situation was stabbing, right?
Stabbing.
So his MO changed. And so he was like,
we don't know how Barbara.
We don't know how Barbara died. That is true.
We don't know that.
But what was the second victim?
I think Kimberly. I didn't write her name down.
The 18-year-old.
I want to say
he stabbed her 61 times to make sure she was dead.
Yeah.
This last one, we don't know how she died either. The one he ended up confessing to.
Yeah, we don't know how. Yeah.
But he made sure. I feel like Karen was his first, and everybody else after that, he had to make sure it was deceased. But shout out to, what was the last one? Denise?
Yeah, Denise.
Fought back and was able to whoop your, because he had markings. She might have markings too, but she whooped your ass too.
Yeah.
And if y'all had already had an eye on him, why were y'all trailing him at times? Had somebody like...
True.
I understand resources and I understand that cost.
Yeah.
But I still would have had somebody telling him 24/7. Because we already suspect him.
Facts.
And if he's already suspected of 2, possibly 3, he's going to strike again.
Most definitely.
Especially
since he think that y'all like are not on to him.
Yeah.
Like he just out here just doing what he want.
On the morning of December 9, 2010, police in Naples, Florida received a heartbreaking 911 call from a 14-year-old boy desperately seeking help.
Okay, what is your name?
Alex.
Alex, what's going on?
My parents were shot.
Your what?
My parents were shot.
Your parents were shot?
Yeah.
Stay on the line, okay? Alex, how old are you?
I'm 14.
14, where are they now?
They're in the bathroom.
This was an all-around terrible situation to be in. But here's the thing. Alex's parents weren't shot by an intruder or something along those lines. In a shocking twist, Alex claimed that he was the one who shot his own parents. However, he also claimed that it wasn't on purpose and that he did it in his sleep. According to him, he woke up in his parents' bedroom with a firearm in his hand and both parents bleeding in the bathroom.
Okay, who shot your parents?
I did.
You did? Okay, stay on the line with me, okay?
Okay.
Get you some help. Was it an accident, Alex? How did this happen, sweetie?
I don't know.
You don't know?
First thing I was sleeping, the next thing I know, I had a gun in my hand. My pants were on the ground.
Okay. Alex, is there anyone else in the house with you, sweetie?
Oh, you gotta hurry.
Huh?
You gotta hurry.
We're on the way, okay?
The dispatcher then gathered as much as she could while also instructing him to go outside and wait for the officers to arrive. The call lasted about 10 more minutes, during which Alex stayed adamant that he didn't know how it all happened. He also tried calling out to his parents multiple times, but they weren't responding. Aside from tragic, the whole situation was extremely bizarre, something that would stay a part of this case as it moved forward. The officers arrived just before 9 p.m. and immediately rushed inside to check up on Alex's parents, 40-year-old Thomas and 39-year-old Kelly. Sadly, both of them had passed away by that point. They had a single gunshot wound each, and the firearm was in the bathroom with them. Alex was taken into custody and was later charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. He was also tried as an adult, resulting in him getting sentenced to 20 years in prison, with the earliest possible release in August 2028. However, despite pleading no contest to the charges, Alex never changed his story. So, what happened here? Did he actually shoot his parents while sleepwalking? Well, it's unlikely. Reports of people committing heinous crimes while sleepwalking aren't exactly new and date all the way back to the mid-1800s. However, none of these cases included any real evidence to prove the sleepwalking claim. Examining them closely shows that they were essentially hoaxes the criminals created to avoid accountability for their heinous actions. This is obviously not to say that sleepwalking isn't a real thing. It most certainly is, and people suffering from it can do some fairly complex-looking tasks. However, almost all of these tasks are a part of that person's daily routine, like brushing their teeth, dressing up for work, eating, and in some rare cases, even driving while still asleep. But in Alex's case, he somehow found his way into his parents' bedroom, located the firearm in the closet, loaded it, perfectly aimed at, and shot both parents individually before waking up. This is simply too complex of a task to perform while sleepwalking. Not to mention the fact that Alex had no history of a sleep disorder prior to this incident. Another oversight in this explanation is how both of his parents were conveniently in the bathroom together when it all went down. There was also a small chance of an external influence, like someone older somehow convincing Alex into ending the lives of his own parents. But from what I was able to find, the investigators found no clues pointing in that direction. This leaves the most obvious and also the most likely theory, that Alex did this due to how his parents were treating him. During the trial, he went through psychological evaluation twice, and while the full results were never made public, Alex's attorney claimed that what drove him to kill his parents was a psychological component that doctors have identified, which does not excuse criminal conduct, but helps explain it. It doesn't confirm anything outright, but it does suggest that Alex may have had a plausible motivation. An interview with a neighbor also provided more insight into their day-to-day lives, with them describing Alex's parents as controlling. They also mentioned an incident where Alex got in trouble for lying, stealing, and trying to run away from home, and how it ended with Alex being grounded inside the home for a long time. However, many neighbors questioned by investigators also argued that this was normal parental behavior and that nothing they did crossed the line. So, while the theory that Alex committed the crime as an act of revenge is the most plausible, there is still little evidence to support it. The only one who knows the truth of what really happened that morning is Alex himself. And I doubt he'll come clean now after already being sentenced and with so much time having passed.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
What's so crazy, he gets out in 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years, he's free. Get to live his life. And he still be young.
Yeah, I about to say, and he still be young because it's happened when he was...
Because he'll still be in his early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough time for him to go find someone.
Mm-hmm.
Have a family.
Wow.
So he basically get a second chance of life.
Basically.
While taking both of his parents' life. That's sad, bro. Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine you having a kid, you see him as a baby, you grow up and realize this is the person that's going to take your life.
For it to be the person that takes your life. But you don't know that, but for it to be the person.
I'm saying, I'm saying at the moment, you like, damn. And I wonder, do all those thoughts come across?
In that moment.
In that moment, do all those thoughts come across your minds, like, memories of the bird, like your life flashed before your eyes.
Yeah.
Your life with this person flashed before your eyes. Like you remember every moment that made you happy. Hold them as the bird, hold them for the first time, crying for the first time, changing diaper for the first time, and then bow, you're gone.
That's devastating to even think about. Yeah.
Y'all spin us up, man. Let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comments down below, man. But until next time. Y'all know how it go, man. I do go with the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are
Kid and C.
We are.
Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners.